In the meantime, I would request Mr. Mehrotra to give his opinion on the subject.
Can I get a cordless mic? Hello. It's working? Good afternoon, all of you. Thank you so much for, still being here for a presentation after such a heavy lunch. Right. So I thought, why not to use a presenter and move around so that I can make you more awake. Right. As discussed, the topic given to us was industry-academia interface, and the beauty of this topic is I was taught this topic when I was a student.
Parents are
I'm teaching this
loss,
topic when
and
I
so
am
am
an employee, and I believe how long it will go, but this I don't want.
Parents are
Things should settle now,
and so
because
am
since
I.
last 8-10 years, I'm going through the same topic, the importance of industry and academia interface. So what I have done in my presentation, I have taken few aspects of these, few points to make the situation pretty much clear as, when I talk about an employee, what I am looking for from my prospective employees. Correct? So the topic which I have given to the subtopic which I have given is, you give them attitude, we will give them skills. The basic reason behind is that you cannot teach a horse to climb a tree. Correct? So whether I want a horse or I want a bird, this is pretty much should be the side of the employer. The basic things, he should have an eyesight, he should breathe. These are something which I expect, or I feel that it should come into the part of attitude, and rest skills, we will harness them when he will come into the employment. This was happening since last 5-7 years, but it never worked. So what we did, we moved to colleges. We decided why not to do tie-ups, why not to sit and make syllabus, why not to, train the trainers, why not to do many other things, and irrespective, we forgot that we are a business organization. So we have something called a 9-to-5 job which we have to do, and along with it, take care of our social responsibilities. So to start any presentation, I have also marked something very good, that only 4.69% of the total workforce in India has gone formal training. Right, that a breaking news. We are very proudly stating this, that some 4.5% log has done their formal training. Second, the best is this. The skilling is viewed as the last option meant for those who have not able to progress, opted out of formal academic system. Right? अगर कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो, तो कुछ स्किल सीख लो, काम कर लो. आज भी ये सेंटेंस बड़ा, it's too good, कुछ नहीं, अगर नहीं पढ़ पा रहे हो तो कुछ काम सीख लो, कुछ कर लोगे. So this is how what I have tried to illustrate. I would request everybody to look into the screen, that now things have changed and changed a lot. It is not that how we will bridge the gap. It is not that we have to find a rocket science around it. It is something now things are there. We just only have to go and apply to it. Now things are not, there is a NSQF, National Skills Quality Framework, which clearly states what we want, what we don't want, what we are looking for. So 4 aspects which I have taken into this is, one is quality of training, quality of infrastructure, quality of assessment, and last is adequate compensation. If these 4 points, if I am taking it well, I think the universe of skill development is going fine. Because courtesy to our Prime Minister, his PR skills, now words like National Skills Day, words like reskilling, upskilling are now often heard. Because I heard first time about the mentor-mentee program when I went to my MBA. I think I was very late for that. But today, due to good PR available, at least everybody knows there is something called skill development and Skill India. So we should be proud about that, that we have moved ahead of what we were earlier 5-7 years back. Right, there are few, I want to cut short the presentation. There are basic points which I think an employer who are sitting here should keep into the mind. Right, employer should help in developing the curriculum, not in the way of, but the key aspects. If I need somebody to sell a mutual fund, then at least he should know what is a fact sheet. Very simple. So if I am able to make them understand, boss, this will be your future sort of a job. So this will help. Second is apprentice opportunities. It is just like skill labs, which have to set up, industry have to open their gates to teach, not to generate business. Even summer internship today is a business opportunity. Hire 100 people, they will bring 5 insurance policies. It is not working now. You have to change. Participating in assessments, very important. When we get the student, it is something called 10 plus 2 minus 3. He has done his 10, he has done his 12, and there is minus 3 called graduation, especially in tier 2 and tier 3. So he again, goes to 9, and wo bhi bahut, I don't know what. Second is encourage employers to recognize skills. If somebody today, even a plumber, has a skill development certificate, they should recognize, अरे 100 रुपए salary बढ़ा दो, बाकी 100 लोगों को भी skill development. There is something which is, sort of a gap. This I believe is good. This we as organization do. Retiring employees who are interested can be used as trainers. They have huge experience, not bookish, life experience. If we can hire them, if we can pursue them, if we can request them whatsoever, if they are able to give 1-2 hours daily, things will be sorted out, I believe. Working professionals, if I have a 9-to-5 job and some university came to me and say, sir, can you come and give a lecture? I say, can you put it on Saturday? Otherwise, I will not be able to do. So this is one, I think from the side of employer, and the industry should gradually move towards employing only certified candidates. Because see one thing, even today a parent sends a child to a B school, a good B school, because he will get a good job. Simple. It is directly proportional. A good B school is equal to at least 12 lakh plus of a job. So the perspective has to change. If I talk about academia, that is not my domain, but I would like to put some points into it. One is, it is just like last slide. I put it in my mind that I have to take 5-7 minutes only. Right. See, this point is very important. Make skilling aspirational for boys and girls. What you have to do? I have to do BCom, I have to do BA, I have to do BSc. Right? कभी नहीं सुन सकता मैं शायद अगले 5 साल भी that I want to become a plumber, I want to become an electrician. They are by chance, not by choice. Even I am not afraid to say, sir, today teaching is also becoming like it's coming by chance, not by choice. Signing up of MOUs, using soft and hard infrastructure, and 3 or 4 major important points is that, academia should set up a skill lab. If they are teaching retail, there has to be a retail lab in the organization, because you cannot put a mall everywhere on this earth. So if I set up a small sort of a skill lab, I think I will give that simulation or a look and feel to the students, right? And all these are theories. And the last is academia should gradually move towards knowledge-based teaching only. National occupation skills are there. They very clearly states what we have to teach, what we don't have to teach regarding a particular job. So if we are talking about skilling, I'm not talking about education. So it has to be knowledge-based so that it should result into some sort of a outcome. Right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Contacted 6 premier universities of the world. They contacted 21 other higher educational institutions. They took a team of 219 researchers and 5,000 students, underwent a program development procedure, and the result of that is what Ms. Tina spoke today. When IBM decided to do the research in Silicon Valley in nanotechnology, they said, set up a $19 million research facility, hand it over to a university. They are the best people to create knowledge. They are the best people to tell us what to do. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, whether it is peculiar to our country or to everywhere else, today we have reached a situation where a business magnate comes to me and tells me, I will tell you how to train teachers. Where an industry comes to me and tells me, I will teach you the assessment process. Where an industry comes and tells me, I will tell you how to create the curriculum. My core requirement, my core profession is being taken by the hands of somebody. That is the issue that needs to be taken care of in today's gamut of, in today's dimension of learning, when we talk about industry and academia interface. May I now request Swapan sir to give his views.
Education system. So, but this is Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D. In the process, we made sure that research is different from teaching. Anybody who does research is considered to be coming from a different planet. Knowledge is different from skill. Anybody who is knowledgeable cannot show that he knows a skill also, because that will devalue his knowledge. And that has led to a peculiar scenario now. When we teach programming in the blackboard, we expect technical assistants to take care of the laboratories. When somebody teaches mechanical engineering in the board, practicals are taken by some other persons who are perceived by the society to be at a lower level than the person who is teaching at the class level. And this is in our mindset that we have to create some kind of hierarchies. Can you imagine if we delink knowledge from skill, what will happen if a surgeon teaches in the class and the operation is done by somebody else who has not the knowledge for that? So, fortunately, at least now, thanks to the recent media hype or, okay, whatever be the background, people are talking about that something has to be changed. Yes, yes, yes. Something has to be changed. And what is to be changed? Basically, all of us cannot ignore the responsibility we have for our society. A country cannot be a superpower when we do not even think about the people who are in the unorganized sector, who practically consists of about 90% of our workforce. And at the same time, we have to, from higher learning education system, we have to work out some methodology by which the huge investments in equipments, classrooms, etc., which remain unutilized for maximum part of the day, how they can be utilized. Due to short of time, I'll stop here. Maybe at some point of time we can take some.
Thank you very much, sir. Very kind of you and very useful suggestions, sir. Engineers are investment bankers in the Mumbai financial market. Doctors are bureaucrats. In one of the advertisements of Infosys, it was written, engineers and MBAs do not employ. So there are organizations in the industry who will take you for your basic skills. There are basic skills which are common to all professions. We in the university can teach them, we in the universities can implement them. Basic human competence, a strategic choice. Right competence, right time for the right market. Human competence, professional competence, and business competence. You combine them together and the universities will do it together. The mandate with them is create a comprehensive mechanical engineer who can indulge into automobile engineering, who can indulge into manufacturing industry, who can indulge into production industry or maintenance industry. Not just create a repairer of automobiles, don't just give him limited skills. We are creating a good engineer, a good designer, and a good researcher. May I now request you, sir, to give your opinion.
Sure, sir.
A very good afternoon, all of you. First of all, I am very thankful to organizers to giving me such opportunity. After years of research, we have come up with a model to bridging the skilling gap with the industry and academia. First of all, with the time constraint, I would like to call upon Mr. Gurvinder, Head Skill Development Center of BFCI, to present the unique industry academia interface model of BFCI. Unique model
institutions, Bathinda, Punjab, in the capacity of Head School of Skill Development. So as the Chairman Sir has given a brief introduction that we have come up with a unique industry academy interface model after years of research at Baba Farid Group of Institutions, looking at the dynamics of industry as well as academia, and looking at the problems which both these worlds are facing since long, as some of the panel members have already talked about. So I'll not talk about much about the problem side of this word, but I'll talk about the solution side of it, which we have built after years of research. So to brief about it, like we all know that India by far is the largest in the higher education system in the world. So we have more than 700 universities and we have more than 35,000 educational institutions aligned to these universities. Our engineering colleges are growing at the rate of 20% per annum, and our management colleges are growing at the rate of 60% per annum. So, even after having all these thousands of educational institutions in place, we are still facing the problem of quality. The industry is not getting the right kind of people. Academia is not getting are not getting the sufficient placements of their students. So, if we compare all these things, the reason which we find out is not the lack of demand side or the lack of quality side, lack of the supply side, but it is actually the lack of the quality supply. So, looking at all those aspects which have been covered by some of the other panelist members, there are multiple reasons for the lack of quality supply which is leading to the unemployment in our nation. So some of the points which we have jotted down are, it's lack of regular industry-academia interface, it's the lack of job-oriented and skill-based curriculum, it's the lack of proper evaluation and certification of practical skills, and it's the lack of internship and apprenticeship opportunities in the industry of the academic world. So looking at all these reasons and looking at all these problems, we have created this unique industry-academia interface model. So there are four aspects of this model, which are, the first one is adopt, the second is restructure, another one is evaluate, and last is absorb. So all these four aspects are related to each other and are connected to each other. So to start with, it's adopt, which means the long-term collaboration and mandatory adoption of educational institutions by industry. Restructure means restructuring and designing of curriculum, duration, and nomenclature of the courses to map it with industry requirements. Evaluation and certification of students to be done mutually by academia and industry. As some of the panelists already told, that it is not the job of either of industry or academia, it should be done collaboratively. And lastly, absorb, which means absorption of certified students by the industry. So there are multiple stakeholders involved in overall aspect, in covering the overall aspect of this model, which is number one, which is academia, which includes vocational institutions, ITIs, polytechnics, professional institutions, universities, and other universities which are offering degree and diploma and certifications. Government and public-private partnerships, which include Ministry of Human Resource and Development and other ministries, Skill Ministry, NSDA, NSDC, etc. And third is the industry, which includes all the employers from public and private sector. So I'll take a couple of minutes to describe each of the four aspects of this model, which says adoption, the first one, which means adoption of educational institutions by industry and vice versa should be made mandatory by the government. Why mandatory? Because otherwise the entire, the type of diversified culture that we have in the country cannot be covered. If on individual basis, yes, for example, if we are doing at our end, this can be possible without the governance of the government. But if we look at the inclusive culture that we have, it has to be governed by some laws. So industry should sign MOUs with the adopted educational institutions for long-term and permanent collaborations. Industry should communicate the expectations regarding skills and future requirements and should share its short and long-term bottom-to-top requirements with these adopted educational institutions. By adoption, we mean that there should be some permanent collaboration. It should not be short-term. It should not be like academia going to industry when there is a need of placements and industry coming to the academia when there is a need of skilled manpower. It should be long-term. It should be, we should understand the long-term requirements of the industry. Industry should share the new trends and technologies prevalent in the current market with adopted educational institutions. And let me tell you that this is not just a model. So after creating this model, we have also started executing these steps, and we have been working with a lot of industries. For example, Bosch and Mahindra First Choice, which is coming up with their first in educational institution, their service center in the educational institution. And then likewise, there are a number of other companies with which we are working on, and the latest and recent developments are with Festo, which is coming up with their MP stations in our campus. So these are the opportunities which has to be created mutually by industry and academia, and we are getting very good response on that from the industry.
1 more minute, sir.
So the next is restructuring, which means that curriculum should shift from the input-based approach to outcome-based approach. Academia must consult the industry to design, reconstruct the curriculum, nomenclature and duration. Academia must consult NSDC, sector skill councils and other industrial bodies while designing these courses, and equal weightage should be given to the practical skills and the theoretical knowledge. Third is the evaluation and certification. So as some of the panelists said that it should come through academia or it should come through industry. It should, but it should come through both ways. So academia should evaluate and certify the students on the basis of the theoretical knowledge and skills. And industry should evaluate the practical and job-oriented skills. We see that in the, in our current scenario, the practical skills are even judged by the academic people only, in the form of viva voice and etc. So this should not happen like that. It should come from the industry side. It should be, the job roles should be integrated into the academic world, and those job roles should be assessed and certified by the bodies like sector skill councils and NSDC and industry as well. And lastly, once all these things are done, the last step is absorption of the students, which includes that at the end of every course, industry should provide stipend-based apprenticeships to the students of its adopted institutions, ranging from 3 months to 1 year, depending upon the course. So due to any reason, if a student doesn't get the apprenticeship in the adopted industry, then academia is bound to arrange for the apprenticeship. And it should be backed up by the academia as well, wherein if there is a service agreement which can be signed between a student and industry, it should be backed up by the academic world, so that it is a mutual win-win situation for all. So there is a role of government as well. If, as I said earlier, that if we want it in the form of integrated way in the entire country, there has to be a role played by the government, where bodies should be formed so that this can be enforced in the form of law. So it's a mutual benefit to all. To industry, it's a skilled manpower will be readily available. Time, efforts, and cost of trainings would be reduced. Attrition rate will be controlled. To academia, improvements in the placement rate, and preparing students as per the global standards. So, with this, we are already executing this model at our campus, and we look forward to the support of industry, and we look forward to the support of academic world as well. Let's come together, join hands, and make India skilled and make our country progress. Thank you so much.
In 2004, when Audi decided as a strategic policy of the company that we're going to be #1 in the world, they had a tie-up with Munich, University of Munich, Department of Technology. They had a tie-up with Stanford University. They gave out their procedures and problems to them and said, kindly research and give us solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, to those of you who are here as vice chancellors and directors or principals of the institutions, do not dilute your level from there. We often hear various companies coming to our institutions and say that I want a computer science engineer who's capable of Java. No, I only want PHP fellow. No, I only want a web designer. Ladies and gentlemen, we in our institutions create comprehensive engineers irrespective of the field. And that is what we give to the market. The problem is that sometimes industry feels a student who's being hired today for a particular job must have learned the working of that job since yesterday, as on yesterday. There is nothing like orientation. They want performance from day one. That is probably another important issue which need to be taken care of. And I would want you to remain centers of research, excellence, impart knowledge, let it be constant interaction, let the industry depend on you. They give you the problems of the society and you are the solvers of that problem. You provide solutions to that problem. That is how it works. Mr. Sohi, are we good to go?
Yeah, just...
Okay. While he's working on his presentation, may I request you, in case any one of you has any suggestions or questions, please feel free to shoot. Sure, sir.
Academia. Generalization of industry and academia, I think, will not take us anywhere. All the examples we are given, why we don't have a single auto sector industry from our country creating 100 of what is called Ford Research Laboratory. Human resources are free input to the industries. Which industry offers a single paisa to an academic institute to set up a research laboratory? Even today, through Public Service Commission, Government of India recruits best of talents from the country, and after that, they are trained for 2 years before they are placed into service. It is obligatory on the part of industry as well that the input they are taking free of cost. You have to invest something for their retreat. We did not forget academia churns out. I fully agree with the chairperson that we are supposed to generate personalities, not just engineers, skills. We generate politicians, we generate music directors, we generate all over the world. It's not only the industry which we cater to. So there's a time for us from the industry side also to reflect upon. Thank you.
Mr. Mehrotra is itching to say something.
Sir, I would like to ask, all those people who are sitting here and to the panel also, please, put some emphasis on, people who are not even to go, who are not able to even go to colleges or dropouts. Academia is a very, बहुत दूर का बात है, right? Talk to people who are not able to even, earn so-called 26 rupees above BPL and below, all those stuffs. Because I feel plenty of things have to be done there, sir. Right? If I open a mall in a tier C, I think I can feed 500 people. And just giving a single point of a skill of becoming a cashier or becoming a front office or something like this. So I would like that, you people should put such senior people, if I combine experience, it would be more than ages. So you put some point there also that the people, there are at least 70% of the living human beings who don't see a college also. Right.
The only thing is that don't get overwhelmed with the vocational education or skill development, because you as heads of higher education institutions, you have a much larger role to play. Give them procedures, give them systems, and let the vocational training institute, let the skill development centers do the job. You do not get overwhelmed. Mr. Suri, all yours.
Yeah, good afternoon to everyone here. So this topic regarding skill development and bridging the gap between industry and academia is very interesting, and I want to share some personal insights with regards to my own professional career, where I completed my engineering in automobiles because I was typically at that time interested in working with cars, but not sure what exactly with cars. And after 4 years of my engineering degree, I ended up not having a job in the year 2002, 13 years back. And of course, I didn't have some great results to also get a job.
Not your fault. The market at that time, automobile
the market was, yeah. So the only option I had was to start working in a garage and gain some amount of experience and understanding different car components and so on, because I already sensed that my engineering degree was not good enough in terms of what my understanding was in terms of the vehicle. The other interesting part about my engineering was at that time I was studying in my final year carburetor-based systems, while on the road we already had fuel injection-based systems running. So there was a gap which we knew about in the class, but we just sort of shrugged and went ahead with life. I had a strange experience in my workshop. I started working in a Maruti workshop, I mean the most popular brand in the country. And after a couple of months of training, I was asked to replace an alternator because there was an issue with the alternator in the car. By the supervisor, right? And the supervisor was not as educated as I was. He was more, I guess, an ITI a person with probably 15 years of experience in the workshop. And he was quite upset at the fact that a graduate engineer with 3 months of experience is put under him, and maybe in a couple of months would also maybe supervise him himself, sitting from the office and so on. So when he asked me to replace the alternator, and I went to the engine compartment, I was a little confused whether between the alternator and the AC compressor, because both of them look quite similar, and I didn't know how to do it. And I was a big joke there in the workshop that day, because I was the point was that you've done a 4-year engineering in automobile and you cannot differentiate between an alternator and an AC compressor. You know, what nonsense is this? And that hit me really hard that day. This is a topic 13 years back, and you know, I decided that I need to get more detailed into how different components and how an engine look, or how different parts of a car look. I should have some contextual understanding, which was missing. And I decided to invest some more time working in the workshop, and I actually spent the next 4 years working in different workshops in different brands, including Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, and so on, before I joined Bosch. When I came to Bosch, I saw that we have a lot of development engineers who come from good engineering colleges, and they're working on creating the software for the engine control systems. And they have the same problem. They are not able to relate to a lot of physical components of the car, and that is something which still persists even today. So just coming to something that we are trying to do to solve the problem from the industry side, there are two elements. One, of course, we have partnered with a lot of institutes around the country to set up automotive labs where we can offer some of our expertise to help students, feel different components, get a feel, do some sort of exercises, simulations, and so on. So that is for the students who probably want to get into some sort of research or engineering. What we also want to do is that we also want to partner with the skill development firms, and there are a lot of them here, who spoke about what they're trying to do. And we've developed something very simple, which I want to just show in the next 1 minute, where the essence is that we want to sort of give an opportunity for everyone who wants to learn to help them learn through, for example, their smartphone or their tablets, some elements which are very important for their day-to-day business in the industry. And the conventional way of learning, because of, even though we have the internet and so on, the experiential learning cannot be replaced by any sort of information that you get from different sources. So I just play this small application, if you could have the... So, we've just developed a prototype of a very simple application using virtual reality, but the technology is not important here. And the target for this learner is to actually assemble his own engine. And when he assembles his own engine, he learns about different components and how they interact with each other. And so, what he has to do is that, for example, this is an engine block. He puts it here. Then he has to install the crankshaft and the pistons in the engine block. And if he puts it in the right direction, they kind of fit properly into the block. Then the next step is to install the cylinder head. If I try it here, it doesn't fit because, of course, it's not there. And then it's the right thing. So while he's doing it, he gets a sense of different components, and then the entire valve assembly, and say the camshafts. I'll do that quickly. Then the timing chain, which connects the cam and the crank. Then the fuel injectors, which supply the fuel. The manifold through which the air comes in. And then the ignition coils with the spark plugs, which result in the combustion, the oil pan. And then the exhaust manifold. So this is the mechanical thing. So, when he does this exercise, he gets a view of the different mechanical components of the car. And the engine system today is not only mechanical, it's mechatronics. And it's been the case since the last 15 odd years in India also. So now we also give him a view of what are the different electronics, very basic electronics that are needed for an engine to run. So for example, the camshaft sensor. So the camshaft sensor is a very popular sensor amongst all software engineers who are developing the engine control system. But a lot of them, including the developers in the Bosch software division, don't know where it fits actually. Where is this camshaft sensor? इसके बारे में बहुत सुना है, but ये किधर है? So you sort of try and install it here. I don't know why it's not fitting. Oh, that's the crankshaft system. Thanks, Vamsi. already installed it. And then, the sensor that sends the load on the engine, and then the very popular lambda sensor, which senses the exhaust. Yeah, and now, if you have successfully installed the engine, you are ready to start it, right? And once
If you successfully installed the engine, you have one.
ready to start it, and you can also view the engine in different directions, from different views. You can zoom it in, zoom it out, and you sort of also get a chance to play around with the speed of the engine to see the impact, and also understand how the control system works in tandem with the entire mechatronic system. So you have this ECU. A lot of technicians today are very scared of these ECUs because they're used to working on mechanical systems, and suddenly there is a computer in the car controlling everything. And if one sensor fails, then sometimes the engine just cranks and doesn't start. And what is the root cause for that? And we give this learning to our people who are interested to get to the root cause of an issue, because that's the problem they face every day in their workshops. And we put these applications on their smartphones, because just about everyone has a smartphone today. We give them a concept of active learning and self-learning, so that, and of course with some amount of assistance and development, if we are able to set up this entire ecosystem in different disciplines. This is just one example. The pace at which we can learn and give an opportunity for people to be independent in their jobs is going to really improve tremendously. So that's basically our thought process at the moment with regards to increasing the skill level of the students who will be moving from academics to some sort of professional work. It could be engineering, it could be a vocational job, or it could be research, and such applications should be able to help them much better. So that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Suri. That was very nice. There is no denying that somewhere down the line, we have not failed to do our job properly. That is why others took the opportunity and cashed on it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've not been able to dynamically be sensitive to the requirements of the society, of the market, and of the industry. That is why people have taken the opportunity to tell us what needs to do. Probably in times to come, we sit down as partners with the industry, understand their requirement, provide solutions, and mutually implement it in the market for the benefit of the industry and for the benefit of the society. Perhaps that may be the best model of industry-academia interface in learning. Any questions or any suggestions? So please.
Just a short while ago, this youngster from the Bosch, what he has shown, it is highly impressive. I think that's what is the need of the hour today. Here, my suggestion is, before you take to the students, with all humility, I should say that first, we got to make our faculty members happy.
I'm sure that must be part of their plan.
Good or bad right now, because of the system, because of the way the academics have been managed in our country so far, most of our faculty members, they are not from industry. It's very likely that somebody that is teaching automobile engineering, he or she himself has not gone on assembly. To that extent, my suggestion is an excellent idea what you got into that. No doubt, I think this you got to take it through. That's a great idea, absolutely no doubt at all into that. Because no amount of internships and all that will take you into that. This one, if you can take it through the faculty members, initially.
I'm sure, Mr. Suri, you have it in your plans?
Yeah. No, take it through the faculty members, convince them, tell them this is what it is in terms of that. It will be a superb idea. In fact, this is something that I think it's worth emulating by rest of the industry also. In fact, as a matter of fact, a short while ago, when suppose some questions were raised as to academics, are you going to industry at all? Are you talking to them? Why are they not coming? I kept quiet. In fact, as a matter of fact, I worked in industry for about 28 years. the last 13 years I've been to the academies.
So would you like him to answer your question first about the faculty?
Sure. In fact, wonderful. No, wonderful. Good. I think.
Thank you very much, sir.
I think I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thanks for your feedback, sir. And to your question, this is exactly the reason why we landed up here these 2 days in the World Education Summit, because we've done this ideation a couple of months back, and we've done this dirty prototype in a very short week's time. And we came here to understand what is the sort of feedback from the leadership of the education institutes. And we've got some overwhelming response the last 2 days, and the idea is exactly to take it through the leadership of the various education institutes, because they should be convinced about it, and they should channelize the energy towards the students. So all stakeholders must be convinced before we can take it forward. But yeah, your feedback is appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Suri.
You want to say something?
Just one point. In fact, in NIT case Suratkal, Bosch has created one lab, donated one engine, one full paper is taught partly by Bosch people. So that's what I was trying to say. If Tata Motors, Maruti want to hire people from an institute, is it not mandatory on their part to create a lab, help the faculty and students get educated, and then go there to see whether they're really employable or not? That's precisely the point I want to. But Bosch is very good in this. I compliment Bosch about that.
The proof of the pudding is in eating. Mr. Suri has been proved right. His company has been proved right. My compliments to you, Mr. Suri. There couldn't have been a better proof than this.
Can I just continue that?
Sir, can we give others also a chance to speak, sir?
Just only one comment. I think maybe we'll like
Sir.
to have some help. Today, the IITs and NITs, they're the privileged ones. I was also fortunate to pass out of IITs. Today, the need of the hour, lot more of this is needed in the mid-rank and lower-rank colleges. That's where, we have got depth of faculty members, we got depth of financial resources, we don't have the industry collaborating.
So that is where actually, yes.
Please look at them also.
So that is where actually elets plays a very important role. Yesterday during the felicitation ceremony, Dr. Ravi Gupta made it pertinent that all the institutions who got prizes and all those who were present, he made them inform all of us what they are doing specifically in this field, and they gave us very good suggestions. That's where we must compliment elets and World Education Summit 2015. Please cheer up for them. I give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. No, now only felicitations.
Thank you so much, Professor Dikshit, for...
Why I was mentioning about my background is, when I was in industry, I recruited a lot of people. For 28 years, I was cursing academics. They are not producing the right people. Now I have come to the academics. I can't complain. I can't say industry is not doing it into that. In my own way, I try to go to the industry. We went to the industry. I went to the industry associations like CIIs and FICIs, all that. We told them, be on our academic council, please advise us, please tell us what you want, we'll do all that. We told them, please take out students for the internship. I was aghast. I was surprised. The same industry, as you rightly saying, that are demanding good students. When it comes to that, in the month of March, they are busy with, financial year end closing. April, they are busy because taking leave after this thing. June, quarter ending. We find that, from the industry, the issue what we notice is...
Sir, I guess such problems can be resolved on a one-on-one level with the interaction, sir, and we can work it out, sir.
Today, the practical problem seems to be that, yes,
Sir, I would request you that we will be eating into the time of the next session, sir. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Said a mandatory type of thing may not work, but we got to see and how to make this to work. I think you require a catalyst, you require somebody to bring these two arms together. That is the only suggestion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Have a seat, sir.
Thank you so much, Professor Dikshit, for being on time. And may I now request you to please present our dignitaries on the dais with the participation certificates. First one goes to Professor Swapan Bhattacharya, Director, National Institute of Technology, Suratkal. Thank you so much for your presence here. Professor Swapan Bhattacharya, Director, National Institute of Technology, Suratkal. Can we have a round of applause, please? Then Mr. Gurmeet Singh Dhaliwal, Chairman, Baba Farid Group of Institutions. Mementos for Mr. Harsh Mehrotra, Head Training, Mahindra Skill Training and Development Private Limited. Round of applause, please. And for Mr. Varun Suri, Senior Manager, Automotive Aftermarket, Robert Bosch Engineering and Business Solutions Private Limited. And can I request Mr. Suri to return the honor to Professor Mithilesh Dikshit, Vice Chancellor, Career Point University, Kota, and give him the certificate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And can we have a group photograph, please?
Parents are an anxious lot, and so am I.
While the photograph is on and without wasting any more time, we will move on to the next session, which is usage of big data and cloud computing in higher education, rapid advancement of technology and the development of emerging technologies.